I unknowingly became the father figure for my next-door neighbor's son, and his mom asks me out on a date, plus all updates. 3 years ago, a woman named Cassie and her son Kenny moved into the apartment next door. They had a few boxes, so I figured I'd offer to help and get off to a good start. I noticed Kenny had a PS4, so I told him that I game as well, and he was free to come over and play my systems anytime he wanted if his mother allowed it. I have a PS5, Switch, and PC as an FYI. Since I'm a mechanic, I told Cassie if she had car trouble, she could come to me anytime since I help out a lot of other people on the floor with their cars as well. She accepted. I didn't really interact with either Kenny or Cassie besides a few hays for a few weeks initially, but a little more than a month after moving in, Cassie knocked on my door asking if I could check her car because the engine wasn't turning over. Turned out the spark plugs needed changing, which was easy enough to do. Cassie was very thankful and offered to pay, but I refused. She insisted I join her and Kenny for dinner, which I hesitantly accepted. We had a good time, and I learned a lot about them. Kenny's a good kid, really into games, science, and his guitar. We even played Mario Kart at my place afterward. From then on, I got really close to Kenny, viewing him like a little brother. He came over almost daily to play games, and I started teaching him about cars. I even brought him to my shop to introduce him to tools. He's a quick study, and told Cassie he wants to be a mechanic like me. I encouraged him to aim higher and become an engineer, and now he's looking into engineering programs. Cassie really appreciated our relationship and became much friendlier with me. During lockdown when I got COVID, she brought me groceries, cleaned my apartment, and took care of me. She even started cooking dinner for me every night, and we'd all eat together. She'd leave food in my apartment when I worked late. One day, Kenny brought a friend over and introduced me, saying, "This is Richard. He's like my dad." That took me by surprise. I always viewed Kenny as my little brother, but he saw me as a father figure. When I asked Cassie about this, she seemed surprised I even asked. She said she'd never forced that role on me, but confirmed Kenny viewed me as his father and hoped Cassie and I would get together to become a real family. Then Cassie admitted she wouldn't mind that either. I asked if she was asking me out, and she smiled and said yes. I agreed, though I was nervous about ruining things with either of them. I love them both, but wasn't sure about being Kenny's father figure. It's a lot of responsibility. Cassie is amazing, and I just hoped I could measure up to her expectations. I never thought she'd find me attractive or be interested in me that way. I was nervous all week before our date. During our usual family dinners, Cassie smiled at me more, though Kenny was too busy with his phone to notice. Cassie arranged for Kenny to spend the weekend with his grandparents. When I picked her up Saturday evening, she wore a beautiful dress. I joked asking if it was for me, which broke the tension. The evening started awkwardly, but when she grabbed my hand while walking to the restaurant, the awkwardness disappeared. We had an amazing dinner with lots of talking and laughing. When I asked what changed her mind about me, she mentioned the previous Christmas. As a hardworking single mom, Cassie provides for Kenny's needs, but can't always afford luxuries, which hurts her. Kenny had been begging for a PlayStation 5, but she couldn't justify the cost. Since I had disposable income, I spent months hunting for one, checking stock drops until I finally got one. I surprised Kenny with it on Christmas, telling him it was from his mom. Cassie was shocked and started crying, though Kenny was too excited to notice. She said that moment made her realize she wanted me in both their lives forever. She tried denying her feelings, but couldn't. Our conversation the other day gave her the opening to finally confess. After dinner, we went to her place for a nightcap and discussed relationship expectations. We agreed to be exclusive, take things slow, and not tell Kenny until we were sure the relationship was solid. She apologized for the dad comment, saying it was wishful thinking that might weird most people out. She said I could accept any role with Kenny I wanted, though she hoped I'd eventually see him as a son. We didn't sleep together that night, deciding it was too soon, but we did have a buzz makeout session. The next day, we went for brunch and apple picking. It felt wonderful walking hand in hand and taking silly pictures together. At our family dinner after that, Cassie sat close to me, rubbing her foot against my leg under the table. I've never been more turned on. I'm falling hard for Cassie. She's everything one could want in a partner, and I hope to be worthy of her. A year and a half later, I was at work when my boss called me to his office. I thought I'd messed up, but he had a huge bouquet of roses on his desk. "This is for you," he said. I was confused, but read the card attached, and it said, "Just because, love GF." My boss laughed at me and told me I had a good one, and to not fuck it up LOL. He did say he'd have to give me shut for it, but he's happy for me. Sure enough, the boys on the floor ripped me to shreds once they heard about it, but I didn't care. I was like floating lol. Now I'm on my break, and I can't stop thinking about how much this completely caught me off guard. Can someone please talk me down from going out to buy her a ring after work lol?